All right, guys, gonna have some fun with this video. Hopefully it'll get your brain thinking a little bit and get some discussion going concerning the scenario that my coworker experienced. So let's play some Monday morning quarterback. Ever since high school, I have actually been subscribed to this Combat Handguns magazine off and on throughout the years. And two of the sections that are my favorite are actually not the gun reviews. It's a section called It Happened to Me, and it just goes through what people have written in and saying, hey, look, this happened to me. Of course, it has to do with guns, CCW, that kind of stuff. And just by way of digressing a little bit, the other one is actually a section there that is written by Masad Ayub. And I really like his articles. But as I said, I digress. This It Happened to Me section is kind of the springboard to this discussion. Coworker came in and said, hey, this happened to me, and I thought it would be fun to kind of dissect the details that we have, generate a discussion, and moreover, just to get us thinking about this kind of stuff. If you were to encounter it, what would you do? Where do you have your gun stored? And just think about this stuff so that maybe you can better set yourself up for this situation, both from a gear perspective, but also, and most importantly, from a mental perspective of how you're going to handle it moving forward. So what I want to talk about is an experience that my coworker went through. He related to me, I think, yesterday morning. He is on his way to work, and it's very dark. He's driving down his neighborhood road, and at the last second, he realizes somebody's directly in front of his car. It was dark. He didn't see him. He was kind of coming out from the side of the street. And he actually had to swerve to miss this guy. Otherwise, he would have hit him. So my coworker stops. He does have his CCW. He did have it on him. My coworker stops, turns around to check on the guy to see what's going on, pulls up, and so he pulls up so the guy is actually on the passenger side of the car, rolls the window down on the passenger side and just says, hey man, how you doing? You need any help? And the guy says something, and my coworker says, you know, there's a sidewalk over there. It'd probably be safer for you to be on that sidewalk. The guy, his response would make you think he's either mentally not there, or my guess would be drugs. He's on drugs, he's high, kind of a homeless guy, something like that, of that nature. But during this conversation, the guy actually reaches in the vehicle, or excuse me, he, on the passenger side door, he actually lifts the door handle to get into the car. Can't get in that way, so he reaches inside the car to see if he can get in that way. At that point, my coworker kind of takes off, and where he goes and calls a cop, says, hey, look, I'm worried about this guy's safety. I'm worried about him getting hit. So that's the story. Now, let's talk about a few things, and let's think about maybe how you would have handled this situation and talk about some specifics. The first thing I want to think about is, would you, in that situation, would you have even turned around to talk to the guy or see what was going on, or would you have just said, none of my business, I'm going to work? Something to think about there. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, or one other thing, is the CCW. Where is that CCW? Is it on your hip, or is it in the glove box? Those are probably the two main places I would guess most people carry in the car. There certainly are some other places, but think about it. Where is that CCW? How does that affect if this thing really went south? So let's talk about one of the things he did well, and that is he left the car in drive so that when he thought things were escalating to a point, now the anti-gunners would say just because he has a gun on him, he's a CCW holder, he would have taken it out and blown the guy away, right? No. What did he do? He thought, this situation is getting to a point where I don't like it. I don't feel threatened, as in bodily injury or death, so I will excuse myself and get out of Dodge. So he just drove to a safe distance away where he could call the police and say, hey, look, I'm really worried about this guy. Can you come out and check on him? So that was one of the good things he did. Now let's talk about one of the bad things he did. That guy was able to reach into the car to potentially gain access. So that window, well, of course you have to roll it down to talk to the individual in most cases, but what you can do is just crack the top of that window so you can at least talk to him. So that window was obviously rolled down too much so that guy could gain access. So that's just a quick story and some things to think about. And how would you have handled the situation? Again, what would be fun to see in the comments is, do you see anything that I'm not seeing or bringing up? Would you have stayed there, or would you have turned around and said, hey guy, what's going on? Or would you just have kept driving? None of my business, I'm going to work. So, quick video, something fun to think about. See ya.